Susan, how many watch parties did we hit this year for NFR?
3.
And we're going to tell you all about them.
We went to the Westgate watch party, which we did last year. We went to South Point's watch party, and then we went to MGM's watch party.
So let's go through the things that we are going to be grading each of the watch parties on so that you have an idea of what we were looking for. We had drink deals, we had seating, screen size, hosts, we had sound systems, giveaways, how crowded it was, and if there's live music before or after.
We'll start with the drink deals. Westgate has a bucket of 6 beers for $30, which is a fairly good deal in Vegas. And then they also had You Call It pours of Pendleton whiskey and Tito's vodka. So that's like, you can tell them how much you want in your drink, and then they'll put a mixer in. And then South Point, we didn't drink at South Point. Okay, so anyway.
We believe that there was a
South
6 for 30 deal for the course.
Yeah, so very similar to Westgate. The MGM, very disappointing. All they had was Bud Light and Michelob Ultra and Jack Daniels, and that was it. They had a list of cocktails that they could make, and that it was like 5 different ones you could choose from. It was also more expensive. So 5 beers for $40 versus 6 beers for $30. So not great.
Let's do seating next. So we have the Westgate. Westgate has a stage, and then you have, like, what would you say, 3 layers? You have like a lower layer,
There's
middle
a
layer, and then the balcony up top. Everything has like a very small table and a few chairs around. That's
like
the
a little
entire
cocktail table.
Yeah.
I feel like you can see really well from any of the seats.
Yes,
if you're lucky
we
enough
sat
to get a
upstairs
seat.
last year.
Yeah.
And this year
Good view.
we got a good view down below, like mid range.
Yeah. South Point, I feel like the seating at South Point was weird.
South Point seating was like going to a wedding.
Yeah.
It was
like
a
big
huge
round
table with very little food options for sale, and then
just
massive chairs.
few and far between.
Yeah.
Like, you were so far away from other people and from the stage, and like it was weird.
Very different. The MGM
Also
was
weird.
Yeah, you know what?
It was like a sports bar environment, but then there were like conference tables.
So like every section had something different, because the one section we sat in was like weird little tables with 3 very uncomfy chairs that made screeching sounds when you moved.
Horrible. Everybody stood up for the anthem, and it was like it was horrible.
The next part to the side, like on the other side of the bar, was like high tops with like small bar tables, and then behind us was like fake bale, like bales of hay
that were
like straw bales that were falling apart.
I feel like they were like blow up, like inner tube material or something. It was very
weird seating. But I would say in seating capacity, you can fit more in the South Point for sure. And definitely you could fit more in the MGM than you can at the Westgate.
I think that the South Point claim to fame is that they have the largest.
Yeah, because they had 3
they have
ballrooms.
the most room for people, but it's very weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Screen size. So Westgate, being the smallest of the watch parties, has 1 big screen. And then South Point in our ballroom, had 3 big screens. And then, there was other ballrooms that also had 3 screens. And then MGM had 1 big screen and a bunch of... they had 3 big screens. Yeah, they had 3 and then a bunch of TVs all over the place. Yeah. Like sports bar-like.
Yeah. The weird tables that we sat had the 3 main, and then everyone else kind of just had like TVs dotted.
TVs all over.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm gonna let you take over this one.
I love the host at the Westgate. I don't know if you guys heard the story about how we are now friends with Guy, one of the hosts. And there's 2 other hosts, Jackson, and I forget the other guy's name because they rarely like say his name.
Yeah.
But anyways, we really enjoy how interactive Guy and Jackson are. They do a lot of giveaways throughout. They're, keeping you entertained when the commercials are coming on.
Such good banter between them.
So funny.
And between them and the audience,
Yes.
too. They really get involved.
Yeah, and they pretty much can remember a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because people tend to kind of continue to watch at Westgate.
Yeah.
Talked into that card. Sorry about that. We're going to go give it to Cassandra Schaefer. Cassandra Schaefer. No. Well, you're going to have to give it to your honey.
South Point had one dude who sat up there. It was very strange. When we got to South Point, they were like auctioning off like teams.
Fantasy
and
teams.
Fantasy teams. But like we had no idea that thing was gonna happen, so we were like, "What?" And then
let's go, ma'am. Now $1,100. Oh, it's done.
That was pretty much it from the. They had like lots of, I wouldn't say hosts, but they had like little helpers for that part, and then the one host during. Not even during commercial breaks because they made us watch commercial
We actually had to
breaks.
watch commercials at South Point. Weird.
Very, very few giveaways, very little interaction, and we found that like any like, oh, do this and we may give you something free. It was like if you didn't sit right in front of him, he was not looking around.
Yeah,
And
not
then
the
MGM,
best.
not a man in sight. There
No
wasn't
host,
anybody around.
No
The
giveaways,
one waitress.
no nothing.
Yeah. So
The waitress was very attentive, though.
she
Like,
was.
she was
But that was the
hustling.
only person around that was like outside of the bar.
Yes.
So Susan doesn't think that there was a difference in sound systems. I think that there was a difference in systems because I did not like MGM sound system.
The first man to nod is a Wyoming cowboy, Colt Ryder.
It was
That's true. I didn't like MGM.
it was terrible. Like everything sounded not great, and I have clips, so maybe you can tell the difference in our audio. But the Westgate, I think, has really, really good audio.
Be an option. He was waving to the crowd. He is a human.
Oh yeah.
Real.
And South Point had decently good audio as well.
Giveaways. Westgate, I think, was the best in terms of giveaways because every single commercial break, so between every single event in the rodeo, they were doing 3 giveaways, and they were very interactive with it, making you all pumped and excited about it. And then at the end of the night, they had like Cowboy of the Night or something. Like they
Yes.
Yeah, they had
Cowgirl of the Night. It
Yeah.
was for like best dressed
Yeah.
person.
Hey, you're here. Hey, we need to hurry and give this away, man. This thing's lethal. Let's go. This is leather from True Western.
With South Point, they only had 1 giveaway per commercial break, and you had to sit through a commercial to tell you what they were giving away, basically the product, the brand.
And it was
they were good prizes.
Yeah, but if you weren't
But-
like right there.
There were so many people too that you had
Yeah.
to be extremely lucky to win.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like you have a much better chance at Westgate.
Yeah.
And then MGM had nothing, so sad.
No giveaways.
No giveaways, no prizes. So sad.
The crowds for each of them, they were actually all bumping. Every single one of them had quite a few people watching.
Yeah.
The crowd interaction, though, I would say best was Westgate. You were
Yeah.
oohing and ahhing and cheering, and South
Yeah.
Point was a lot more mute. And I would say MGM was like in the middle.
yeah.
So that's what you're gonna get if you want like
Like
that.
mild golf claps for like a good ride, you know? Like people interacted, but not like
Totally.
not going crazy. And live music. Westgate definitely has live music both before and after.
And they're all good. We
Good
always
bands,
enjoyed them.
Good bands. This year they had Core Blonde, Seth Ward. Anybody else you coming to the top of your head?
No, I cannot remember.
They also have a
anyways.
good band that's like their
We love
their
the
house
fiddle
band.
guy.
I don't know what they're called, but
No, they're not a house. They're not a house band.
I know, but
They're not there
they're
all the
here
time.
every night.
They're here every night for NFR.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's in the same, they tend to be very close to each other. I'm just going to make that point for this thing. How about live music at South Point?
South Point also had live music afterwards, but
It's like a mile across.
they make you go to a different room, which is really far away, and then you have to sit through the buckle ceremony, which is fine. Like if you want to see the athletes from the
But
rodeo,
you're standing
but
for
we
over
had
an
to
hour.
stand, and then the music comes on. So we actually were so tired and really tired of standing, so we left early.
Yeah.
But we really did want to see Aaron Watson. We
And
really did.
It's very like small amount of people who can get in. So
Yes.
people were waiting at the door for like people like us who were like, gotta
Yeah.
go, so they could get in.
Exhausting. And then
And
MGM
They-
looked like they had a band, but we had to leave early for the Cody Johnson concert.
yeah, they said they have live music. We just don't know what it's gonna
Actually,
be
there
like.
was live music at one of the country bars in
Yes.
in the MGM.
What's Losers?
Yeah, it was called
Yeah.
Losers. But the band was very good. We
Yeah,
kind of
no.
stayed to listen to them for a little bit.
I think you
They-
took a clip of them.
I did.
Yeah,
They
we'll
were
insert
they were
it.
good. We liked them.
So, in all, which watch party do you think you're most likely to do multiple days next year?
Westgate all the way.
Totally. I think that honestly, they like
The
really
best
blow
one.
you out. And if you want to get seats, get there by like 4:30 at bare minimum.
Latest.
Because you want a good seat, and they're all
Yeah.
good seats, but you will
Well,
fight for seats.
Yeah, there's also like a big crowd that has to stand on the the
Mm-hmm.
outskirts, and you also if you're standing, you don't get a seat. You also don't get to fill out a prize card, so you don't get to enter the contests.
Yeah.
So you want to get there early.
And then the other thing is, if you don't care about being in the prizes for the watch party for NFR at the Westgate, you can sit at the International Bar where we were talking about that live music that happens all the time. It's another good option because they have it going on,
Yeah,
and
they
then you
have
can
the
obviously
TVs.
still hear everybody because they're right next to each other. So you
True.
still get the atmosphere without all the crowding if you didn't like that.
Very true. Let us know if there's another watch party we should go to next year.
Yeah, we kind of want to try a few more so we can give you better ideas of what all the watch parties are like.
Yeah.
And we are closing out this year with 3. So I'm pretty happy with that.
We'll definitely be back to the Westgate though, so look for us next year.
Yes. Bye.